Hello, everybody. Tom here. Welcome to Civ 5 once again. Greatest game ever made. I'm here today to talk to you about war, specifically how to win wars in Civ 5. So, there are four aspects I'm going to talk about here, but before that, I want to point out information. Obviously, in this map, I can see everything because I'm showing you stuff, but you're not going to be able to see everything, which is why it's very important at the start of the game. You get a scout out, maybe a second scout if the first one doesn't explore enough, and make sure you get to see, what the map looks like. Information is key. Information will give you what you need to win. Um, Besides that, I would point out four elements that you need to master to win a war, especially in multiplayer. And when I say war, I mean like offensive wars. Defensive wars are actually very easy to win, because there's this beautiful thing called, I can show you. Well, two beautiful things. They're called the composite bowman and the crossbowman. And these two units are your best friend if you're being attacked, because you can spam them in the early and mid game, and easily survive. Late game war is a little bit harder to deal with if you're being attacked, but yeah, these two units in the early and mid game will win you wars. I might do another video about how to actually defend yourself more thoroughly, but yeah, just take that advice. Spam these out because they just dominate their eras, especially on defense. Okay, but no, the four elements on offensive wars you want to win. You need to master these: numbers, logistics, surprise, and terrain. So let's start with numbers. How much do you need to take a city? All this varies depending on what area you're in. But typically, I would say as much as you need to get the city to right health. And typically that means a lot of range units. And especially in the early game, you're going to want this thing called the catapult. Oh, I met my victim. Um, and the catapult is cool because it has a siege bonus. It gets 200% bonus versus cities. The catapult is not unique in this. There are other units that have this bonus. For instance, I'm thinking of like artillery, rocket artillery, and then obviously trebuchets. There's also some unique units that get this, like the battering ram, which is Attila's unique unit. They also get bonus for city plus 300, which is even better than a catapult. But yeah, so what that means is that you have 200% more attack against the city. So where usually you do 8 damage against, for instance, this scout, I would instead do uh, you know 24. So yeah. So these will be your friend. If we're doing like early wars, like I'm gonna attack Venice, I might skip ahead a little bit just so we can get Venice. I need to set my dudes to chill. Oh, hello, Bismarck. If we can get like, okay, yeah, let's do an embassy, sure, but yep, sure, sure. Oh no, okay, let's, yeah, okay, I think now is good. Okay, so, oh, Pantheon. Here's a free tip, not war related. Always take a Pantheon of what's near you and gives you faith. So in this case, even though this is kind of an impossible start, I would do the silver one. And then obviously you go up here and get more, and then that's amazing. So, and it's gold here too. Speaking of over here, for this next display, I'm going to have to make a new city. Let's see. Such a where is we set today? Where are these two? Here we go. I'll just put it. I don't know. Let's go. I probably would have settled like here. Oh, oh no! I spawned right on a camp. Well, let's yeah, just evict them. Okay. So yeah, this is for demonstration. I'll build Stonehenge here just so it leaves me alone. Okay. So, how many units do you need? If I was going to attack Venice, which I'm going to, I would typically try, in this ancient era, again, it's just ancient era, I would typically try to make, when you're making units, also make sure to go into here and do production focus. If you want to win a war, you always do production focus, like before the war and during the war, so you can win. Okay, it's a mistake everyone makes. They're just like, okay, I'll keep everything the same and I'll be fine. No, don't do that. You want production. You want to win. If you want to win, you need to have lots of units. So anyway, what I would build up to would be probably, you need at least 1 or 2 melee units. So I would do like maybe 2 spearmen. I do think spearmen are typically, well, they're better to warriors. They come around at the same time as swordsmen. Swordsmen just require iron, which you probably should have iron done, and in that case they are better. But typically I do make spearmen because I think they're a little cheaper, aren't they? 37 to 50, yeah, much cheaper. Horsemen are also kind of dominate in, I guess they're classical. But yeah, it's kind of, I kind of consider it the same because it's not too far off. Horsemen kind of dominate because of the mobility. So I'll make like 1 horseman. And typically they're like a pick unit. Just kind of pick off like wounded enemies. Chariot archers are very, very good because of how mobile they are. So I'd probably make like 1 of those. They're good at defense. They're great at defense, especially early on. And then what you really want here is at least 3 catapults. I now starting to lose money. And at least 3, maybe 4 composites. That's roughly the size, maybe a little bigger than I would probably go with, but it's roughly the size of what you want the army to look like. Now, when I attack, they're going to be pretty weak, because realistically, you would only ever get this out, like, turn 50, maybe. 55 if you're... Yeah, turn 50 if you're really good. Turn, like, 60 probably would be more realistic, or turn 70. But so this is very good. This is the kind of numbers you would want to see in the military, in the early game. Oops. I'm using, like, a WSD mod. It's kind of messing me up. I turn texture off. Okay. So, yeah, this would be about... Sure. What you would want. I'm actually going to do something here. I'm going to save. Okay. So let's start going to war. Second thing you want to have is, well, actually, this is the 4th thing on my list, but so we'll go over now. Terrain. Ow, I hit myself. Oh my god, terrain. So, terrain is very important. Depending on where you are in a tile, you are going to have a different range. So, for instance, if I'm standing here on this hill, on a hill, you have everything. You're good. But if you are not on a hill, you get blocked by hills. That's how you use terrain. So, yeah, it's important when you're like looking at conquering someone. By the way, this is why you need scouts. You need to be able to look at the enemy city. Realistically, I probably would be able to see like this part of it. So what I'm really looking at is, this hill, this hill, this hill, have great vantage points of the city. It's also very flat, so even if you're here or here or here, you're also gonna have a great vantage point of the city. There's no forest either. This is a very like juicy target. So let's do it. So let's head down. And again, these melee units, you don't really want them to be kind of in the way. In the early wars, like in early game, you kind of want to be able to get away with as little melee units as you could possibly do, because they are kind of crap. I so rarely in this game do I see them really make a big difference. They just kind of get killed by all these range units. Yeah, the bow definitely beats the sword. Oh no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. So second thing is surprise. So Enrico Nadalo, who is playing his part as Venice, just said, "Hey, you're on my border." Now, if this is a player, actually, I think I can become him. Hold on. Can I become him? I think I can. I can't. Okay. Oh, no, I went back. Yeah. Okay, so if I am... What is happening with Archer? Oh, it's kind of bugged out. Okay, regardless. If I am Venice, and I'm looking at, like this, for example, like, I'm like, okay, he's going to kill me. And now I'm building units. Now I go in my city, and I'm just pumping out units like crazy. It's what else are you going to do? I mean, you know, I might have messed myself up here, because I don't know if I can go back. Okay, I can. Yeah, so if I was Venice, I'd be going into here and just like rushing out as many archers as I can. If he was the same era as I was, it would be composites. But again, demonstration's sake, he's not in our same era. So let's give him position more. Like, if you're him, you're like, oh no, I need to, And at this point, like, if he's starting to block our positions, yeah, we can probably declare war. But I'm just going to wait a minute here to get everyone into position. And if he was here, he should probably declare war on me right now and just shoot at my guys right away. He's a very dumb AI. You're hopefully not going to be fighting very dumb AIs. Hopefully you're fighting competent players who are not going to put up with this. But has my word, and so he's chill with it. Don't be that stupid, If someone has an army like this in your border, go into your city, production focus, spam composites, spam crossbows, and try to survive. Obviously he's a little short-sighted, Mr. Well, I guess he is blind. Oh, poor Enrico. Statue of Zeus. Okay. Never do that. Never take honor. Never, ever, ever take honor. It's garbage. It'll never help you. I keep down. I think you're soon to be a Venetian city there. Okay, so we are getting into position here. So yeah, if I have everything in place, I should be able to shoot from like everywhere when this starts, which is pretty good. But again, an average player won't let you do this. They won't let you set up. So what you want to do is just rush to positions, and just go to war as quickly as possible, because you're gonna start losing units. You need to be able to fill the line. Try to have kind of a wide line so you can circle, and kind of be able to shoot from every direction as much as you can. Yeah. A big thing here is surprise. Like 3 turns ago, he saw me, preparing. Those 3 turns are crucial. That's all the setup he gets, or that you want to give him to set up, and that's a perfectly fine amount. He can't save himself with 3 turns of setup. If you kind of if someone's tipped off like 10 turns before, you're cooked. You will never win a war against that person if that person is remotely competent, because he will have set up so much that it's just not going to be possible unless you have like a lot of help or something. So yeah, luckily he had 3 turns, which would have been not enough for him to get set up. And I think in 1 turn we're gonna finally declare this thing here. Yeah, let's switch out here. Oh wow. Good job, Bismarck. Great wonder. Get that. Okay, let's... Yep, boosting my military is sort of suspicious. I betrayed the world. Okay. Great. So, okay, terrain, right? Like, I'm on this hill. Perfect site. Make sure with your range units are always on these hills, because it's just better. It's just way better. You're going to be in a position where you have a lot of, like... You're able to use your bonuses. You're able to use what you're good at, which is, again, range. So yeah, we can do that right away. Yeah, chariot archers they're not actually very strong. Like I said, it's the mobility that makes them a strong unit. They're very flexible. Okay, let's get started. So because I have so many numbers, this is not going to be a hard war. As you can see, like, right away, just with 3 catapults, look at all the damage we've done. I mean, he's already basically on his last leg, and if we had our horsemen in place, we could probably take him out right now. I was a little... Yeah, we could probably do this like this turn if I was a little more competent. But still, this is a great attack. I mean, this is the kind of numbers you want. This is the kind of surprise you want. You want this person not to have any time to think about it, to do anything about it. Just get rid of them. Kill them. Yeah. And you have to be a bit of a psycho in this game, but, you know, it's for a good cause. You are building an empire to stand the test of time. It's not easy. You know, someone has to die. In this case, it's Venice. There we go. That's how you do war in the early game. It does change. Like, okay, so, actually, let me go back. I'm going to load my game. Oh, I think that's wrong, actually. Hold on. Oh, no. I don't want to be him. He's cooked. Hold on. I want to be Denmark. Because another thing that you need to win is logistics. There is a scenario where things don't work out. Venice, obviously, you saw had a warrior, like, over here. All he has to do is just explore in the wrong direction. If he just, like, walks over here, you're done. Okay, he sees all of your military, and he's like, oh no, I'm in trouble, he's gonna kill me. And that gives him a bunch more time to set up, because you can't even get over here in time to really kill him like I just did. That's why you need logistics. So, what I mean by logistics is roads. Let's build a worker here. And we'll defend him with our lives. So let's get our men into a position where they're not really that suspicious. Or better yet, I mean, also it works if we're over here and then Germany's like, oh, you're going to attack me. If you're playing a game with VC, that's fantastic, because then Venice thinks that, you know, you're attacking Germany. And that's not his problem, right? He gets even less, you know, scared or fearful. Let's head back over. Okay. We don't have the wheel. Hold on. Let's just steal one. Hold on. The wheel. There we go. Okay. So let's start building a road. And we're going to see the function, the utility of this very quickly. Obviously, this archer is very unhappy. We get to kick him out of his home. That's fine. So for now, let's just stack up our units over in Copenhagen. And that will be fine. Like right now, he definitely does see this composite bowman. That wouldn't be... And this chariot archer. You know, that's probably not too bad. Actually, you might see my... yeah, he does see catapults too. We'll get those out of his hair in a minute. It's a defensive catapult. Okay, so yeah. Just stay over here. This is a good enough distance where, like, if I was Venice and I saw like a chariot archer and a catapult, I'd be concerned, but I wouldn't be like freaking out and building units. So let's head over here. Obviously, I would be concerned. I might build 1 or 2 archers, but this is the early game. I mean, in the early game, people are really concerned about getting their like country up to scratch. There's a lot of like wonders you need to build. There's a lot of stuff you need to do. Thinking about where you're gonna put your next city, making a declaration of friendship with Germany. There's a lot going on. So yeah, we should build a nice road. Again, if they see you building a road, it is also kind of scary to them. That's okay. That's fine. And you're going to see the utility of this very quickly. But to do so, I think you actually need construction.
3 things are to be looked to in a building.
Engineering. Yes.
Instrumental or
yes,
mechanical.
Okay. You mess with bridges. Yeah, let's be friends. I think he's about to take Cape Town. Oh no, he's just walking Giovanni Caballo into my territory. Now he's seeing my myself over here. At this point, if I was Venice, I probably would. Yeah, if I was here, I think this would be the time to freak out, at least a little bit. But we're gonna need 1 more road here. So, okay, I think we're ready now to start moving. Okay, so before it took about 3-4 turns to get everything in position. Actually, about 10 turns if we actually count them. But now we have roads, and it's gonna make this a lot easier. So let's get everyone over here. Use this new highway we made. Oops. And the best part about a road, and the reason why you need it, even more so than like initial positioning, is because if Venice actually like, turns it around and starts pushing you back and like defending himself, you are going to love that road because it means that you could just funnel units straight to the front line, and you won't need to wait, a bunch of turns to get them actually in position. Okay, so let's keep building. Try to ignore this guy as much as I can. This guy in my way. So look how much simple. Look how much easier this is. Like we're already basically in position, and we just got here. So it's very, 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 very easy to do when you have roads. This time, obviously, I'm going to try to learn from my mistake. We're going to have the horsemen in position for when we take the city, which will be a lot better. Okay, Okay, he's in our way now. I might have to kill him now. So you saw that my guy couldn't move there. It's because I was next to an enemy. If an enemy is next to you, then you can't move. Which is good to know, I think. Get rid of that guy. Okay. I think next turn we will begin, and look how much easier that was. How's it going? Actually, well, by this point, yeah, let's put the pressure on. Okay. Actually, let's go here. Just like very aggressively paving a road. Yeah. Now, if you have a lot of units defending, first of all, good luck. Second of all, what you want to do is to attack the range units first. Range is typically the more dangerous. But we got the city now. We're good. We got it. So that was much easier because we could position a lot quicker. The road is game changing, so you want to make sure that you have a road. That's logistics. So I think that's everything. I also want to make some addendums here about like later units. I thought about like, ancient, and mid game stuff. When you get to like the medieval era, I did mention the horseman's good. Horseman is pretty good, but when you get to like the Renaissance era, for instance, like knight actually is extremely good. In his era, the knight is fantastic. It's a great pick unit. But when you get to the Renaissance era, this thing called the Lancer appears, and the Lancer basically just destroys the effectiveness of like these mounted units. So because of Lancer, at that point, mounted units are getting terrible. In these eras, like these three, the best units are the musketman, the rifleman, right war infantry, and infantry. What is that? Whoops! I think I spawned a bomber. Oops! I did. Yeah, infantry. Okay. These are the best units in their era, but there's a huge problem with them. I can show you this actually very easily if I go to research and just go, which one is rifleman? Rifleman, obviously. And then I think replaceable parts is Great War, yeah, and then It's plastic infantry. So if we have all those, look how much it costs. $110 to upgrade a musketman to a rifleman. $135 for rifleman and great war infantry. Great war infantry to infantry is $80. So in just 3 eras, you're spending about $300 just to upgrade your main line, your front line troops, which is why they're kind of bad. Like in their combat strength, like they are the best things in their era. They do have the most like bite, but they're just so expensive. If you're not like losing them fairly quickly, like it's just hard to maintain them. You do want allies on defense, but on offense, like it's just not great to have. Typically, what you really want, I'll tell you what you want, what you really want. If you can, naval stuff is incredible. Starting in Renaissance, I think. Yeah, you get the frigate. The frigate is amazing. It changes the game. It's a very strong unit. It's also very good with like taking cities out. So if your enemy is on the coast, it's very helpful. That typically, like a smart player typically doesn't put the capital on the coast, which means you can't really win with frigates. Not saying you shouldn't do that ever, but yeah, if you have like a naval unit as your unique unit, you probably should go on the coast, or you need coast for something else in your civs like arsenal. But typically, you don't want to do that because frigates are just that overpowered. They're gonna kind of screw up later in the game. So if you can do that, if you can't kill someone on the coast, you want like a bunch of frigates. Like I would say, like I don't know, a bunch. Like just spam them, and then you want like one privateer because you just. I'll show you now. I mean, obviously it's a little before their time, but you just do this. I'm not good at this turn. Unfortunately. Yeah, I'm not good at this turn. Okay. Oh my! Turn 47. I'm way ahead of the curve here. So yeah, these are very powerful. Especially if someone has built a lot of like defensive structure, which they should. Not all the time would you do that, but yeah. So very easy. They do kind of break the game. And like battleships are kind of crazy too. So yeah, but really, what you want in this era. Gatling guns are really good. They're incredible. So you only get one range, but they have a lot of strength. So you do want a lot of those, and you also want a lot of artillery. And artillery are good because they get 3 whole range. Very good. And the big benefit of that is that you can really do a lot of zone control and like. Range is so good because you can kind of pick what you want to kill. You never really get forced to a corner with range, which is very good with that. Yes. Anti-air is really bad. I've never seen them be useful. Bombers are really good. Yeah. And then paratroopers that's the last thing that kind of breaks the game. They're so good. Basically the way they work is they can paradrop within 9 tiles of what you can see. So if I was declaring war, for instance, on, I'll just declare war on them just for the sake of it. Just for the love of the game. If I had an archaeologist, here in Germany, I could paradrop right into Germany. The next turn I can attack. So these are great because it really kind of cuts out that middleman of logistics. Where'd they go? It didn't work. Oh, there we go. It's very slow. So these are very good. And unlike these frontline troops, because they're so versatile, they don't typically get stuck in a wall. These guys get stuck in walls, and then you can't really do much with them, unless you just like have very overwhelming numbers. These guys definitely more fluid. They kind of these frontline troops get back in the game with paratroopers. yeah. So that's basically an overview of how to play this game and do like an offensive war. Um, and I might do more about defensive wars, but I think defensive wars are really easy. You just spam crossbows, and later on you spam artillery, and you spam these guys, and you're good. It's not too hard to win defensive wars, unless someone else is like has a crazy war civ, like the Zulu, who are crazy. Um, but typically it's not that bad. So yeah, that's my guide. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed it.